Good day, everybody, and welcome to Soul Talk. And I'm so delighted to be bringing this series to you of Meet the Author. The co-authors are part of the wonderful book Voices of Hope, which is being launched on November the 23rd here in the UK at the Beaumont Hotel in Windsor. And I'm Brenda Dempsey. I am the creator and author and leader of this wonderful group of women. And today we've got the wisest woman I have met on this wonderful journey. Her name is Carol, I hope I say this right, Carol Wachniak. Yes. And she is all the way from Chicago. So welcome, Carol.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm so excited about the book.
I know, I can't wait for people to read your story because it's just incredible. This is the queen of resilience. She is so resilient, and we're not going to talk about the story, but we're going to talk about the impact of it. So, Carol, the book's called Voices of Hope, and the stories are all adversity and darkness we've been through and the challenges that we've had in life. And sometimes they've silenced us and we need to go and find our voice again so we can rise and hear it. So, and for me, your voice equals your truth. So when did you change from a woman who was maybe a little bit apprehensive at expressing your truth? When did it turn about for you?
Well, you know, when you're thrown into the swimming pool and you have to learn how to swim, that came at a pretty young age for me as a young mom. And that swimming experience is your faith muscle. Unless we have something of contrast or resistance, and I think it's there to give us this stronger part of us that we have not identified with yet. Mm-hmm. And it wants to burst as well. So it's laboring our growing into who we are going to become. And I wouldn't trade any of the contrasting experiences because I really like who I am and who I've become because of it. I'm more compassionate, more loving, more understanding. You know, all of those character traits that they were there, but they became developed with a purpose behind them because of those. And I don't think I've quit growing in that. I think that is a constant process.
Yeah.
And in the journey, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's each day we get the opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. And you know, you're right, we never get to destination. For me, in my understanding, in my readings and through my meditations and messages, it's about growth and expansion. And we are the beacons of light when we are in alignment and our light shines. And what we do is we help light paths for others who are behind us to maybe accelerate what they're experiencing and give them share our wisdom so that they might make better decisions and get on that beautiful path sooner rather than wait till they get to like middle aged and later in life before they've got that wisdom. Because if only I knew what I knew today when I was 30, you know, I would have had a bigger impact. So it's not. It's more about the impact we're making on our life, you know. So such wise words there. Such wise words, Carol. So why did you say yes to being in the Voices of Hope, Carol?
Because I really need to share the story. I know how much I benefit from reading. The difference when you're reading a true story that the author has written is their energy, their transference of faith, belief, problem solving, solution. And when you're reading a true story, people can pick it out. It's called third-party teaching. And when they pick out a gem for themselves, that's their next step on their yellow brick road. So when I was in a mentoring program and we were required to read books, we weren't required to regurgitate the book. We were told to write down the inspired thoughts while reading the book. And that's the value that I think this book will help others with, is give them inspired thoughts and problem solving for themselves in their own situation. And like you said, we've got a handout. Someone had a handout to us, and now we have a handout, and it's on Faith Mountain. So we're chained together with the golden thread of our hearts, not so much our hands, but our hearts and our intention. Their intention was to help us. And look, now I'm in my 60s, and I'm so grateful for these wonderful women who have come alongside me all these years, including you, to be honest with you. And how can it get any better than this? Seriously.
Oh, it can always get better. You wait till we come to America.
Yes, you will be coming to America, and I'll be coming to London in November. So that's exciting.
That question for later, But
Yeah.
do you know, Carol, I just adore you, and I can't wait to be in your company, and I just want to spend a whole day with you. I can listen to your wisdom all day long. You are the woman that everybody in a village or a town would go to when they've got a problem, for the wisdom, because you're not going to give them the answer, but you're going to show them the teaching, and they figure out their answer for themselves. And that's what it's about, and that's what these stories do. You're right, the third party teaching. So they might read something, they might go, oh, that's a bit like me. Oh, well, I can't do that because, but do you know what? I think I might be able to do this instead. So
Exactly.
they find their solution out of something that they resonate with. And that's the beauty of it. Because, we don't learn. If you say to me, what's 2 + 2? And I go, oh, it's 4. How are you learning that? Whereas a child learns by counting. I've got my biscuits, by counting 2 + 1, and they start to see things. I know that was very simple, but you get my understanding.
Yeah.
It's about making people think for themselves, and that you're very right about the third party.
And it's an important piece.
Yeah.
That is, because that's where everybody's genius is.
Yes.
And why not tap into that and find a different stone? I stumbled over this one, but let's find your own, please. Don't do the same ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that just adds to the tapestry, doesn't it?
Yes.
It adds to the tapestry. So listen, tell me something. Are you a queen or an empress?
Queen and an empress?
What are you?
Am I a queen or an empress? In that description, there's a difference when you're a queen mother.
Oh, I never thought of that one.
Yes. That's more like, I'm called mom to so many. So I think if it would be queen, it would be queen mother.
So would you say you're a godmother?
I am a godmother, and I'm aunt. For years, people have called me aunt all over. So when I became a grandmother, actually it was difficult to switch over to grandma because I'd been aunt so long.
Yeah.
And it was very, but I've had a lot of children and a lot of others. Just because they're adults in the big body doesn't mean that their heart didn't need a little nurturing along the way.
Oh, look. Doesn't matter what age we are, we all need nurturing. There's, I remember, so I would be in my mid-40s and my parents, and they were still trying to tell me what to do. And the funny thing is, no matter how old you are, your parents have got this magic of making you feel like a child.
Yeah.
it make you feel like that 7, 8, 9-year-old child. Always,
Yes.
always, you know. So listen, Carol, Voices of Hope. This time round, all the co-authors are women in business, and that was a conscious decision for me, because this time I wanted to show how we can be brave and use our stories to shape who we become and then create a business. And what is really thrilling for me and what really drives me is the ripple effect that we create from that, what we're learning, so how I see it, I talk about the win-win-win situation.
Yes.
I win, you win, and the people we work with win. That's so important. So as a woman in business, tell us a bit about your business.
39 years in labor delivery postpartum as a doula and midwifery. We have served over 4,000 families. We had an unwed moms ministry in our home. And the reason for that is I don't think, at least here in the States, I don't know what it's like in the UK, but a mom gets 3 days to make a life-changing decision whether they're going to keep their baby or not. So I would have unwed moms come and stay at our home, because I was just, how it started was certified childbirth educator, and of course then you meet single moms, and the baby is never the problem. It's the belief system we have between our ears. It's the comments that you're hearing. So the moms would come and stay here at our home before baby. Some would deliver at our house, and some would come after delivery, stay at our house for up to 3 weeks. By that time, baby's here, warmed our hearts, things calmed down, families would like, okay. So out of all the moms that came through our home, we only had 2 adoptions. And the one mom was the babysitter and the godmother to her own daughter, and she got a full scholarship for Northwestern. And the other one was an open adoption, writing letters and pictures and things. But all other moms and babies are together.
So this is thrilling, well, it's not thrilling, it's awesome. It's, let me get out, it's I can't even think of the word, but you're a saint in my eyes. You're a living saint here on this earth. So you've taken in these young mums.
Yes.
And they've given birth in your house, and you've
we've done home births. Yes, we do home births, water births, and whether it was a midwife, a doctor, whatever. Yes. Yeah. And it was their choice, so they could choose where they want to deliver, and them to choose whether they really had the full scope. When you've got a young mom who's expecting, she doesn't know what that means. She's just thinking of the unsurmountable challenges. She thinks, as a single mom, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
So when you get to the other side, it makes a difference.
So for the sake, educating me as well, and I think maybe a lot of people listen to this, can you just explain what a doula is?
A doula is a professional. She's part of your birth team. You retain her and this person is just focused on you, your emotional needs, your physical needs, anything that you need. So you have the clinical side, the doctor or the midwife or a nurse. Their responsibility is different types of things. An OBGYN, he's a surgeon. If he's needed for surgery, that's what he does. Those people historically aren't showing up through the process that we do when we do life and labor at the same time, and how we experience it. And girls, I tell them, what did you do when you were sick when you were little? Because you're going to go naturally back to those very same things when you go into labor. So if you naturally would take hot showers or hot baths or curl up in mom's bed, drink chicken soup, you're going to do that anyways. All we do is come alongside like a lifeguard. And when you say, I got a pinch here, I got a pinch there, we get you up, we get you moving, we know where the head's at or what's going on to make you more comfortable and help the process. So human touch, we're there holding your hand, stroking, cold washcloth, whatever it is you need we are there putting a protective shield around you, and we hold the space for you until you can hold it for yourself.
Is there a spiritual aspect to that, Carol?
There is. There is. Not everyone is spiritual, but you still have reverence for the experience of this magical moment that we call birth.
Wow, I'm looking at my face there. You know, I'm really moved by, and you are just an awesome lady. I can't wait for people to read your story. But that in itself is just like, wow, you know, in 4,000.
Yeah.
God, Carol, that is just amazing. So, Carol, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Yeah.
Blue and white. They are my favorite colors. Blue and white.
So, what are you hoping is going to happen? I know that actually we didn't really finish talking about your business though, did we? Because you only talked about being a doula.
Right.
But, so what else do you do that kind of makes you money?
In my company, we have multiple streams. I have products from Europe. We have, so everything's focused on wellness. Everything that I do is focused on the well-being of the individual and the extended family. So the product line from Europe is a technology that helps with increasing the blood flow in the micro circulation. So as we get older, we have less oxygen in nurturing every cell. Well, when you restore the nutrients, the oxygen, body gets better. The average newborn has so many toxics in the cord blood now, so I'm an advocate.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of that in the UK here. They've found that they've got soot particles and things, and
oh yeah, it's crazy. And so these little guys, if we can we lower the toxic load on the mom because it absorbs in the body so quickly. So hair care, skin care, you know, the chemicals that we use to clean our home, all of those, if we're more conscious of that, the child's ability to be successful in its own thriving life will improve. So have products lines in that, but it's all wrapped around the family. Then because I've been in the business world for a long time, I'm a member and an area director of an organization by private invitation only, and we have members from 144 countries, and we do large scale. We can do everything from a napkin idea to billions. And so that I love.
so you're a true businesswoman. You're a true entrepreneur. It's not
entrepreneur.
You've got your fingers in.
Yeah, my fingers everywhere. And I think the thing I think I get so excited about, because now you have certainty, is the bag tag. Creating the bag tag for the airlines, that has saved billions. Created that tag in 1986.
Yes, so come on. Right, stand in your power. Let's shine the light on you. Let's tell the world, what did you create?
So the bag tag that you see on all the airlines, in 1986, I designed the one that you peel and stick. So when you go to any airline worldwide, United, American, whatever, and that white stick, and it has the logo and it has the barcode. I didn't invent the barcode part, but the bag tag, the peel and stick, I did do. And the reason for that, I think, is much more interesting. Years ago, all the airlines were using these colored piece of paper on a string, putting it on your bag, but it didn't have airport codes. And they found a large population of the bag handlers were colorblind.
Oh, right.
So the bags were going because they thought this was the right color, or the paper got ripped off. So that was a solution that I came up with. And I wanted people's experience of flying to be an awesome experience without the sadness of losing your bag and having no clue where it went. So anyways,
Oh my God, Carol, absolutely. I just feel so honoured to know you and so absolutely privileged, and that you said yes to be in my book, Voices of Hope. So it's like, you're just an amazing lady. So absolutely, let's ask you another question. Let me see, I've got a new one. New York or LA?
What is that?
New York or LA?
For?
What do you prefer, New York or Los Angeles?
Oh my, I think Los Angeles. I like New York for one thing, but New York gets cold like Chicago. LA has palm trees. LA is, they're both very congested, but I have friends on both sides of the country. So, but I have a dear friend in LA, and he's my co-founder for the foundation, and my architect came out of Malibu. So yeah, I have a fondness for LA.
Now, so you keep dropping me things in, so forget these questions. I'm not even asking you those. So tell me something. What is the foundation?
So my husband and I have a non-for-profit. It's called the Educational Foundation for the Children of Fiji.
Oh yes, I've remembered. Oh yeah.
The project is, we've got it to, we have the 100 acres, we have all the master plan, we have all the permits, everything's ready to go. And now we're working towards raising the capital. It will serve 10,000 students from preschool to the parents. The caveat for me, because I'm a homeschool mom, my dad was the 4th largest contractor here in Chicago, building the school is the most important to me. There's 14 provinces, and I want the older students, that this is their project, and families from the different provinces to come pick a building. That one's yours. So can you imagine the kid who gets on the excavation tractor and excavates, what his little eyes are going to look like? Or the kid who wants to learn electricity or masonry work or carpentry or whatever. And when they go home at the end of the day, they are going to be able to say what I can say. My dad did that. My brothers did that. You know.
Well, that's a wonderful community project. Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody involved, hands on, and people taking ownership. The respect that breeds is absolutely amazing. You see, everybody, look at this wonderful woman, and we've not even touched what's in the book. And I mean, she actually, you know, you're going to write your own trilogy, or probably even 10 books in there, Carol. You know, so now I always say stories heal, inspire, and transform. So stories are a hit. And, you know, as we come through our darkness, we're healed, we inspire, and we inspire others by the fact that we overcome adversity. And all that journey is a total transformational journey, which, as we were saying before we came on, it's ongoing. So with the healing, the inspiring, and the transformation, how do you see using your story to help create? I mean, you've got a huge vision. How do you see that playing a role in your big, audacious vision?
You know, Mother Teresa touched one person at a time, but look at the impact she made. And when each of us do that, we are creating that ripple effect. And it's the heart to heart. When you can see, like I was sharing with somebody, and he had the same thought. He likes to fly to make sure that anybody he's working with, that you really meet somebody. And I think that's the most important part. When you're really genuine, people can tell. And you open your heart, and they can feel that it's open. You want them to be in a safe space. You want to be in a safe space. So when you, as I said before, hold the space for others until they can hold it for themselves. Yeah. When we do that, we can do that in magnitude as well. because you can tell when it's real.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And and I think when you're an intuitive and you're on the spiritual path, and you just get that inner knowing and feeling, that attunement, that alignment with our higher selves, especially as you get older, Carol, like us, we're both in our 60s, and what, people can't pull the wool over your eyes. They think they can, but because this is why this is called soul talk, because it's a soul to soul conversation. It's not a mind conversation, and we're picking out the answers from here. Every word we're saying is coming from in here, and that energy will transmit through these interviews. So when someone's being like, just let it go. I talk about being raw and real. It doesn't matter if we make a mistake. It doesn't matter if I ask the wrong question, because there's no such thing as a wrong question. It's just, I don't know if you ever know, here we had there was a comedian couple called Morecambe and Wise. Are you aware of them?
I haven't, but go ahead.
Okay, so they were very big in the 60s,
Okay.
and there's this famous clip with a great conductor, and the sort of goofy one comes on with the tails, and he sits at the piano, and Andre Previn's got the orchestra, and they start to play, and it's his turn to come in with the piano, and he goes cling clong cling, and Andre Previn looks at him. And he goes up to him, and he gets up and he grabs him like this, and he says to him, "You're playing all the wrong notes." And he went, "I'm not playing the wrong notes. I'm playing all the right notes, but not in the right order."
Well, that's really true. It is,
So, be raw and real. Be real. Don't care. Let things go. Accept things. Let things go. What would you say about that? I think we've kind of forgot what this is all about, but let's go. This is a good conversation, so let's go with it.
No, it's true. It's just in the sequencing. Like I was talking to somebody in Germany, and she has this wonderful idea, and she's going, "Well, I got to do this. I got to do that." I said, "Wait, stop, slow down. Put it in the right sequence, and you'll make it." So many times we want to speed up whatever it is we're doing, but we're not always having 20/20 vision in the sequencing. So sometimes slower is faster for getting to where we need to be.
That's right. The hare and the tortoise comes to mind.
And bar none, it's worth it. And you can go ahead and make mistakes and ask for forgiveness later, but sometimes you don't need to do that. But I think sometimes we do it out of fear or frustration or whatever. We don't know what it is, why we're doing something, but if we know our yearning, we want to be heard. So did I speak faster because I wanted to be heard and I didn't know how to express it or how to meet that need myself? Sometimes our mistakes are because we don't know our own yearnings.
No, I love that. I really like that. That's a great word, yearnings. And you're right. So when you do public speaking, and when you listen to a lot of great orators, they speak deliberately and every word, and we slow right down, because people, when we speak fast, and I know I can speak fast sometimes, and so can half the world, but when we speak fast, when we're making an important point, it doesn't go in enough, so when you slow it down, people can take it in and process it as you're moving along. So you're right, it is about not sort of letting everything out, but just let a little out, but give it the weight and give it the respect and give it the importance that it's got, because that's what will help create the influence.
People can tell whether you're present or not.
Oh yeah,
everybody, you can pick that out, you can feel, but what's more important, we can tell when we're present or not.
Oh yeah.
And if we're present, then the others will know it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, so I run networking, and
Right.
and one of the reasons I started networking and the way I do my networking was all about real connections and developing real relationships, because nothing, it irritates me. I don't get angry because I don't do anger, but it's a bit irritated, and it shows a lack of emotional intelligence. When you in a room and you're talking to somebody and all they're doing is this while they're talking to you, they don't look at you, they're not listening, they're looking to see who else, and there might be somebody, and it's like, oh, I need to go, I'm going to speak to them, and you're in the middle of a sentence. What does that say about you? You know? So for me, that's why my networking events are small and intimate, so we don't have all that too much buzz going on and people wanting to speak to different people. You know, there's time enough to speak to everybody there. So it's about being mindful, being real, being present, being in the room, and just enjoying those connections. And I've got to say that all the ladies that come love it for that reason.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference when you know that you're coming to serve others and they're coming to serve you.
Yeah.
Huge difference. So when you can turn around and say, you know, what do you do? How can I serve you? What do you need next? And you can ask those questions and the other person sees that you're genuinely wanting to help them, then there's value in the networking. If you just go up with a stack of cards, and what did that mean? There was no fulfillment, no commitment. So
you'll be glad to hear that I don't allow exchanging of cards at my networking. We have a station called Soul Trader. So I'm not saying business gets done, but it gets done for a different reason.
Yes.
And it gets done for a real reason, because there's a real connection. So anything to do with your business is in a corner of the room. And if people want to know something, they can go, or if there's authors there, they can bring their books. But nobody's standing going, oh, buy my book. It's just there, and it's done in a very organic, natural, like browsing way. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not done like, it's, for me, there's too much superficial, and for me it's about being real, so that's what that's about.
One of the things that, because I lost my mom at a young age, and I mentioned, I've wonderful godly women come across my path, and they've helped me and my kids, but my kids have traveled all over the world. And the reason I know I can allow them to travel all over the world when they were younger, because I knew there was a mom over there. There was somebody who was genuine, who would be responsive to their needs during their travel. And I didn't know her yet, but I knew that they would show up.
That's honest to goodness, so beautiful. Absolutely so beautiful. So, listen, we've got a book launch on November the 23rd.
Yes, we do.
In the UK. Now, am I right in thinking you might be one of our American ladies who's actually going to be here?
I will be flying in for that. I have told my husband and I said, I'm going. So it's an interesting date for us because of Thanksgiving here in,
I know it was a bit like, I know that is a bit of an issue, but it was about the dates I could get before going into the Christmas season. So it is what it is. So.
And it's going to work, and I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to spend more time with you because, anyways, I'm excited to meet the other ladies and anyone else who, shows up.
Oh, there'll be lots of people showing up. It's going to be an amazing, amazing day. And we're opening it up to other people this time because it's such a celebration. It's going to be so uplifting and inspiring that we have to share that energy and that vibe. And there might be other people who want to become an author or speaking stage or wanting to see how can I make my business better, with great networking opportunity throughout the day. And at the end of the day when we'll be having networking, it's just a great day. But as well, Carol, we're coming to the USA too.
Do you have a date yet?
No.
Okay.
We don't have a date yet because we're going to have a meeting, not next week, but the following week, this week beginning the 7th of October. So on Monday, I will message everybody.
Okay.
And then we can do it, and then we can put that out to any of the co-authors or people here to come all the way out to America.
Oh, yes.
And let's have a celebration out in America to a whole new audience. And I know that other ladies who can't make, obviously because of most of it's because of Thanksgiving, they are so thrilled and they can't wait for us to start organising a similar event. And
yes, it'll be really cool when you come here. And of course, you know, open our hearts and homes to you as you have done for us. And I so appreciate all of you, and especially you, Brenda. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So before we finish off, a few more questions because we want to get to know you. What's your favorite food?
Actually, seed milk.
Oh. We'll leave that for another time, will we?
Yep.
We'll leave
that is my favorite, and the avocado soup.
Okay. And Audrey Hepburn or Marilyn Monroe?
Hepburn.
A real Christmas tree or an artificial Christmas?
Oh, real. Yep.
Two more. Jasmine or lavender?
Lavender.
And what book has made an impact in your life?
The Ultimate Gift.
Ooh, I don't think I've read that. Who's that by?
Jim Stovall.
Ooh.
He's blind. He's an author. He's blind, but I used the principles out of the book as a guide for our foundation.
Oh wow! So I'll have to get that book.
Yes,
I'll get a copy of that book. You know, so that's the last question I've been asking everybody. So by the time we get through all the co-authors, we'll have a great library of books that we need to go and buy and read. Because it's amazing. Because people are mentioned. I mean, I've read hundreds of books, but there's always a book you've not read, you know. So it's great. So we're getting our reading lists from this as well. So Carol, thank you so much for being part of the journey. Thank you so much for giving up your valuable times. I know you probably get a house full of grandchildren.
Yeah, I hope they didn't make too much noise, but I can hear them. They're all, you know, Grandma, when are you done?
And just before we go, have you got a parting word of wisdom that you would like to share with everybody?
Yeah, go out and find somebody to help.
Oh yeah.
Go out, find out what their dream is. If you don't have one for yourself, hang on to theirs until you get your own.
Absolutely beautiful. So thank you very much. Much love, and I wish you every success in everything that you do, whatever success means for you. Love you loads, and light to you, and joy and happiness, Carol.
Thank you. You too. Thanks a lot.